What if I told you that the monsters in our oldest nightmares weren't just stories, but memories? Long before humans ruled the planet, we were the hunted, and the predators were other humans. Imagine a time 100,000 years ago. The world was colder, wilder. Every shadow could be hiding a killer. But the most terrifying threat didn't have fangs or claws. It walked on two legs, spoke a language, and could make fire. They were Neanderthals, and they didn't go extinct quietly. Neanderthals were not the clumsy, grunting cavemen you've seen in cartoons. These were apex predators. Thick, muscular frames built for close-quarters combat. Their bones were twice as dense as ours. Their arms, strong enough to shatter bones with a single strike. Their eyes, adapted for the night thanks to a layer called the tapetum lucidum. That's right, night vision. Their brains were just as big as ours, maybe bigger, and they knew how to use them. Neanderthals made complex tools. They created adhesives from birch bark through a process that required controlled heat, something so precise that it baffled modern scientists for decades. They used spears not just for hunting, but for war. These weren't dumb brutes. These were survival machines. For nearly 500,000 years, Neanderthals ruled Europe and Asia. They hunted mammoths, cave lions, even each other. Fossil records show clear signs of cannibalism, not out of desperation, but as part of their culture. But their favorite prey was us. Homo sapiens were the new kids on the block. We arrived from Africa around 70,000 years ago. We weren't stronger, we weren't faster, but we had something Neanderthals didn't. We had imagination. We painted, we told stories, we strategized, we forged alliances beyond family units, and we created tools that could strike from a distance, like the bow and arrow. To survive, we didn't need to be stronger. We needed to be smarter. We became the first species to weaponize culture. And there was something else. We had fear, not the kind that paralyzes, but the kind that teaches. We remembered what worked. We learned from failure. And more than anything else, we passed those lessons on. Evidence shows that where our two species met, there was conflict. Mass graves, skull fractures, defensive wounds on forearms. These weren't isolated events. This was prehistoric warfare, sustained, brutal, and generational. Some Neanderthal tribes vanished within decades of our arrival. Others fought back and nearly drove us to extinction. Around 70,000 years ago, the Homo sapien population may have dropped to just a few hundred individuals globally. That's not a dramatic flourish. That's science. Genetic bottlenecks suggest we were on the edge of annihilation. Imagine that. The entire future of humanity balanced on the survival of a single village. A handful of families hiding in forests and mountains and caves. And then the Earth intervened. 39,000 years ago, the Campiflegre supervolcano erupted in Italy. It was one of the most devastating natural disasters in human history. The skies darkened, ash spread across continents, the temperature plummeted. The animals Neanderthals relied on, mammoths, bison, giant deer, vanished. The world they dominated collapsed. And while they were built for brute force, we were built to adapt. We ate fish, we foraged, we traded, we survived. More importantly, we learned. In the darkness of caves and in the silence after destruction, Homo sapiens innovated. We built stronger tools, created stronger networks, and refined our storytelling. Those stories became lessons, and those lessons became legacy. But don't think the Neanderthals went quietly. They interbred with us. Most people of European or Asian descent carried between 1% to 2% Neanderthal DNA. Some carry even more. These genes affect our immune systems, our sleep patterns, and possibly even our temperament. So when you feel the hair on the back of your neck stand up in the dark, that might not be your imagination. That might be memory. Memory of generations hiding in silence while monsters sniffed outside the cave. Memory of screams in the night, of fires put out not to attract attention, of children silenced by trembling hands. The wars between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals lasted over 100,000 years. But this wasn't just a war of weapons. It was a war of worlds, of culture, of survival strategy. Neanderthals were built to conquer, but we were built to endure. And slowly, we pushed them back, cave by cave, valley by valley, until they were gone. Or were they? Some researchers believe that tales of trolls, ogres, even Bigfoot may be echoes of Neanderthal encounters passed down through oral tradition. Massive, hairy, human-like creatures who live in caves and hunt at night. Sound familiar? It's speculative, but here's what isn't. We didn't just survive them, we absorbed them, and we remember them. In nightmares, in folklore, in the way we instinctively fear the dark. Archaeologists have found burial sites that suggest Neanderthals had rituals. They mourned their dead. They decorated their tools. They may have even played music. They were like us, just not quite. Imagine two species of humans sharing the world, competing, merging, warring. It's not science fiction. It's our history. And it makes you wonder, how much of what we fear in the dark isn't fear of the unknown, but fear of what we've buried inside ourselves? Maybe the scariest monsters are the ones we used to be. So the next time you feel that chill up your spine, that primal instinct to run, that dream of something hulking and inhuman lurking in the woods, remember this: we used to be prey, and we've never forgotten. Because in our genes, in our bones, and deep in the subconscious parts of our minds, we carry the echoes of those ancient battles, of fires lit in the dark, of screams swallowed by the forest, of monsters who were human. If this story blew your mind or creeped you out in the best way, smash that like button. Subscribe for more strange true tales from the edge of history, because the past isn't dead, it's buried. And we're just getting started digging it up.